I started recording too.
Good.
So obviously, you think Attack on Titan and Death Note definitely deserves its hype.
Yes. God, yes.
Yeah, God, yes, yeah. If I
It
like
deserves a big time.
recommend anime to people, it's probably Attack on Titan and Death Note first. But I mean, I guess the one thing about recommending anime to people is that you have to take the person into consideration. Because like I did try to recommend Death Note to my brother, but my brother is a very sportsman. He doesn't like a very anime that has a lot of talking and a lot of thinking. So I instead recommended him Kuroko no Basket, and my brother like enjoys basketball a lot, and he enjoyed Kuroko no Basket so much, like over Death Note. So, but
Yeah, I get that.
yeah. So
I mean, if you don't enjoy the general like talking in deep topics, then Kuroko no Basketball is so good.
yeah, like, the plot is very simple to follow, but the gameplay is just fun, really engaging, and if you're a huge fan of sports, it's really fun.
Yeah, definitely. God, yeah. I remember watching through it, and like, I'm not a big fan of sports at all, honestly. I've never have been, but like Kuroko no Basketball, it was so entertaining and captivating,
Yeah,
even for me who like have no check on the sport or enjoy the sport itself.
Yeah, the rule of cool aspect of Kuroko no Basket just made it really appealing.
Yeah,
Yeah, the superpowers.
I 100% agree.
Yeah, the soundtrack is also really
But at
good.
the same time, yes, but the superpower aspect. I mean, everything they did, except the fucking Emperor's Eye, essentially, they had logics behind. So it's
Yeah,
not really superpower, but just showing that you can take advantage of things as long as you're skillful enough on them.
yeah, but at the same time, Kuroko disappearing and people not noticing him is really weird. Like I don't think
But
it's hard to emulate in real life, I will say.
yeah, definitely. But if you are small or like really short and stuff, and pretty agile, then if you keep check on whoever it is you're like keeping check on's movements and stuff, you will be able to find loopholes to get out of their vision. I mean, they explain that also in the anime of the way his vanishing tricks works is by literally utilizing to move where the opponent is not looking and keep following that movement to make it seem like it disappears.
Yeah. So
So obviously it's highly exaggerated in anime, but it's still logical
yeah, there is like
to
logical
some extent.
and tactics in the story. And One Punch Man, you were saying that it's good, and
It's really good. It's a really good show. However, the entire concept of it from the beginning is seemingly really boring, but they managed to pull it off so goddamn well.
yeah, the execution is very interesting
Like,
too. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, if you just hear the general concept of it, if you haven't seen it, it's like, okay, there's some random ass bald dude with a red cape and a yellow suit and boots running around being to literally kill everything he touches with one punch. That's the entire plot line. Also, he has a cyborg following him, wanting him to teach him things. People would be like, okay, what the actual fuck are you talking about? Are you high? But then you watch it, and it's so amazingly good,
Yeah.
even with that type of plotline. They just managed to make it intriguing with a plotline seeming so basic.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
Yeah. So, okay, this really isn't a criticism of the show, but I think one thing that kind of ruins One Punch Man is the fact that a lot of isekai kind of started doing a lot of similar things. In fact, like the anime below it, Sword Art Online, kind of does the same thing little bit more seriously. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's the issue.
you're not wrong.
And I also
But
do,
in Sword Art Online, he got a proper weakness, though.
yeah, yeah, like
People actually being able to be stronger.
yeah, like I also like. Okay, yeah, my opinion on Sword Art Online is I actually think it's underrated. Like this show, like One Punch Man has like 8.5 star, which is really good, and Sword Art Online has 7.2, which is fine. But at the same time, to me, like Sword Art Online doesn't seem that half bad. It's a good 6 out of 10 anime. If you like consider like only like the first half, maybe even a 7 out of 10, because it's one of those shows that, again, if you, I did say in the past that I really enjoy shows that kind of feel rushed, because Sword Art Online is like that. It kind of like shows important stuff, but skips the arcs where Kirito is farming. I kind of would
Yeah.
understand that people want to watch Kirito train, but at the same time, who fucking cares? Kirito, I don't know, is super big brain off screen, so he just gained a lot of level. I don't care. Let's watch him save girls and solve mysteries and be awesome, I guess, on screen.
True.
And I also do think that it's very interesting that this show like manages to uh, combine a lot of different genres, and this dude just gets married, which compared to a lot of romance anime, the fact that Kirito got married in 14 episodes is amazing. So that's very
Yeah.
interesting. It's just that
It's not even a romance anime, and he pulls it off anyways. That dude got game.
yeah, he's a gamer boy.
Yeah.
Like I only think the reason like Sword Art Online hated is because there are certain like really awkward lines and there are awkward plot moments. I guess, and it was probably true that the light novel art offer was kind of rushing, because light novel artists do write a lot. Like they just pump out the shit all the time. So there might have been a few little dumb lines or plot holes here and there. I'm not like denying that.
Yeah.
Which is why Sword Art Online Abridged is amazing, because it doesn't like from like a macro storytelling perspective. It doesn't diverge that much from like the actual show, but it just makes the dialogue more snappy, the characters more distinct, and they also like become much more self-aware, and they even like explain certain plot holes or certain plot points that Sword Art Online didn't do.
Mm.
Which Sword Art Online Abridged is amazing, but that doesn't mean like Sword Art Online was bad. If anything, like it had interesting moments that allowed for an abridged series to pick up and fix certain things that the original couldn't do.
Yeah. I don't
Okay,
think I watched the abridged version. I think I only watched the original.
dude, you have to watch it. It's hilarious. It's hilarious, and it's also very creative, because there are like certain plot points where they change certain things to either make it more funny or either to fix a plot hole, which is very interesting.
Mm. Yeah, I'm definitely down to check it out because I really enjoyed season 1 of Sword Art Online.
I see. So before you go on your binge stream, what do you think of Boku no Hero Academia?
I love the show from the first few seasons, but after that, it's scaled off from my taste.
I kind
will
of
say.
agree. I agree. I think the problem with Boku no Hero Academia is the problem that it's about the academia. Like the school parts are kind of boring. I think the training arcs are. I mean, you can blame like people like complain about Kirito being overpowered for no reason, but I almost prefer like Sword Art Online because it skips the training arc. Where in Boku no Hero Academia, certain arcs almost feels very skippable.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh, and I also do think the show kind of feels like very safe. Like after you watch, okay, Marvel Universe, and after you watch Naruto, I grew up watching Naruto, so it's kind of feels like when I watch Boku no Hero Academia, I do enjoy it. In fact, it feels nostalgic, but at the same time, it does feel like a rewatch of
Yeah, I
either.
get what you mean.
Yeah, like it feels nostalgic to me, but at the same time, like, oh wait, isn't this just count as a rewatch at this point? you know?
Yeah, I mean, both One Piece, Naruto, hell, even Pokemon and Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh! It's the same thing of being or they're trying to apply the show to be the main center for a younger child to watch, be inspired by, and grow up with the show. To yeah, feel good about themselves or feel that they have potential to move on in life and become stronger than they currently are, and yada yada, all of that bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, there are, of
So
course,
like because they're trying to follow that pattern so much, it's becoming repetitive.
yeah, but I'm not denying that there are subtle differences. In fact, one of the biggest differences is the fact that Naruto is freaking violent. Like considering that
Yeah.
Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura were 12 years old, and that the Forest of Death was essentially a death game for 12 years old. I think Naruto was just too extreme that it kind of makes Boku no Hero Academia washed out and safe compared to it. Like there's generally like horrific elements of Naruto. Like whenever Orochimaru entered the scene, I was like shitting my pants because like I watched Naruto when I was like freaking 7 or 8 years old, and that was very an extreme experience. Whereas watching Boku no Hero Academia as an adult feels like I'm watching fucking Teletubbies bears or something. Sometimes.
That is true. Well, both of the shows were, as its start directed towards younger children,
Yeah.
like it has grown in the age, and before things weren't exactly as safe as you were saying.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're watching at the aspect of animes that was directed for children and stuff, like just looking at, let's say, what's it called now again? What is that one anime? What is that one anime with people having the power of death, literally, and
Huh. I don't know.
having their weapons literally being people?
Oh, I mean Soul Eater.
Uh,
Soul Eater?
yes!
Yeah.
Soul Eater!
Yeah, of course. I did
I mean, it's
watch
also, another one of those directed towards children
Yeah.
and being more dark
I mean,
and unsafe for it.
I guess aesthetically it's dark, but does the show become okay? There are certain things I remember that's super creepy. So yeah, maybe. But I also do admit that Boku no Hero Academia, the adaptation is better. Bones adapted it in time where fillers weren't accepted, whereas Naruto's adaptation is kind of bad. I mean, the freaking thing that makes me mauled about like studio period is that there are so many bad pacing moments, but at the same time there are so many like banger fights. So at the same time you feel like shit watching some of the filler and the bad pacing, and it feel amazing watching the Sakuga fight scenes of Naruto. So there's this constantly up and down. Like my opinion on Naruto, watching it as a kid and as an adult is just constant flux of being bored and being hyped. So
Yeah.
that's weird.
God, yeah. I haven't seen the completely One Piece. I'm about to get my head into that as well. But I have seen certain clips and stuff from it, and all the people I have talked to about it have been saying the same thing as you were saying about Naruto. I mean, they just have too many episodes to consistently make it hyped. But at the
Yeah.
same time, if they don't, if they have it hyped all the time, you're gonna get so used to it that you become bored of it, and then it won't become interesting anymore. So
I
unless they do have some slow-paced episodes, you won't be hyped for big fights.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but like in a storytelling perspective. But like there are still ways to make a good slice of life or chill down episodes, and Naruto has some of those, but also not some of those, because there are recaps episodes that I just skip sometimes.
Yeah, God, yeah, Naruto has way too many fillers. But
Yeah.
unless you have some slower episodes, it wouldn't be able to be as hyped as the fights are. That's what I mean.
Uh,
But we have way too many of them. God, yeah.
yeah.
They could lower it by like 70% and be happy.
Yeah. Opinion on Tokyo Ghoul. Did you watch it?
I loved. Yes, I did. I loved before he became, fucking brutally tortured Kaneki. Before that, I fucking adored the show so much.
Yeah.
After that, it just, I don't know, it lost its vibe.
Yeah, kind
It
of gets
changed.
like weird. I guess the problem with season 2 is that they just don't explain stuff. They just don't like explaining stuff. So I mean, weird. It's the second season of Tokyo Ghoul is weird. It's
Yeah.
I can only explain it as that. Like you feel confused watching this show, but at the same time, Tokyo Ghoul season 2 seems like it has a slow pace. But despite that, you also feel confused because you don't know why Kaneki is doing most of the time, and you don't know what is up with these new characters. They don't explain stuff, so it feels very weird. I only watched like the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, like it doesn't just feel weird. We like completely changed the art style to try to fit into a more Nugent perspective, and it's just, why would you do that mid anime? Like you're not Jojo. Like Jojo pulled it off. They're the only one that pulled it off.
Yeah,
Like,
the JoJo art style is
yeah.
pretty good. Yeah, but
With
wow.
JoJo updating like art styles, they knew what they were doing. I haven't
Yeah.
seen another anime that have been able to pull it off. Tokyo Ghoul tried. In my opinion, they didn't succeed.
Huh. But that's weird because, okay, I did not expect Tokyo Ghoul to be at number 7. That's interesting. I mean, I did remember how crazy the hype for the show was when it was first airing. So much so that I had to watch it. But it's still at number 7. Interesting. And
Weird.
have you watched Naruto?
I have the majority of it, not all of it, but I know pretty much the entire story.
Okay. Favorite character?
That's a really difficult one.
Okay, maybe that's a little bit of a stupid question considering there's hundreds of them. So yeah, mine's probably Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi. I really liked Naruto as a kid. He was just fucking hilarious, and he was sort of a rebel
God, yeah.
that I kind of found entertaining, and he also like rebelled for a good reason at times. So I did, like as an 8-year-old, looked up to Naruto, I guess.
Yeah, I get that. Feeling misunderstood and confused and powerless, and then being like, I don't want this anymore!
Yeah, but I also like the fact that
Essentially.
he was such an advocate of freedom of speech. Like,
True?
like when people like Kakashi or when Hinata was getting beaten down, like Naruto was the one that like screamed and fucking yelled like a madman. And while that's kind of unprofessional for a ninja, I kind of feel like that was the right thing. I also do like cement really like the moment where in the exam where the written test where Naruto didn't cheat, but he was like, I'm not going to give up on my ninja way. I don't care if I'm a genin or not. I'm not going to give up. So that's yeah, like not giving up ever. So that's really cool.
I agree, 100%. That kid had some balls.
Yeah.
Whether it was an actual fucking impossible mission, he didn't give a fuck. He was gonna do it.
Okay, Hunter x Hunter. Hmm.
I have not seen that one yet,
Oh, I have seen
unfortunately.
it. The adaptation is insanely good. Like the adaptation of
Mm.
Naruto is has certain interesting fights, but certain moments where it's just filler and or badly paced. Whereas the Hunter x Hunter adaptation is like always looks amazing, and the fights also have a fantastic animation. The problem with like having good art style sometimes is that the animation kind of suffers because of it. Like you can't like sustain the art and make a good animation. Sometimes that's kind of hard, but Hunter x Hunter does that, so that's really
Yeah.
impressive. I guess in terms of story, uh, it's okay. I guess it definitely becomes more interesting later on. I actually like stopped. I actually didn't watch the Greed Island arc, but the arc before that was really cool. And the Hunter exam, it was okay. It was fun, but it's not like the greatest arc. I think there
Yeah.
definitely could have been more interesting stuff there. But overall, really good show. And Kimetsu no Yaiba, you probably watched this.
Of course, I've watched
Yeah.
Kimetsu no Yaiba.
One thing about this show, though, it definitely got more interesting as it went along because the start of the story is kind of slow, uh, and the story is it's too straightforward sometimes.
True.
Like, I don't- like
True. But that's also because we're used to things like Naruto.
yeah. I also like like it this it's so kind of sad. Like I kind of keep comparing it to Attack on Titan because you know they were airing at the same time. I mean the season four, Attack on Titan season four and Demon Slayer season two were airing at the same time. So I kind of like have to inevitably compare them in my head. So that
Yeah.
may have been a little bit of a problem, but overall, it's a really good show that gets interesting as it goes on. I also like have to mention the fact that like it's a small detail, but I also really like the fact that Zen like the characters use other senses than like seeing. Whereas like Tanjiro has good smell, Zenitsu has good hearing, and like I really like that because there's not a lot of stories where they emphasize people's like sensory different five sensory abilities in fights. So that's really very
Yeah.
interesting, and the animation is of course godlike.
God, yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I will say that this show it was really interesting the aspect of not having superpowers except breathing.
Yeah, that's also
That's it.
interesting.
Breathing.
Yeah, yeah, and there's also might have been like I don't think I know maybe some Eastern theology and Eastern science may have like inspiration from Eastern science because Eastern science, maybe not just Eastern, maybe the modern and Western science do admit that like briefing is very important, and that also
Yeah.
like the Japanese. Zen is very popular in Japan, and Zen also emphasizes like deep, like stomach breathing. But one problem, though, everyone in Kimetsu no Yaiba is a mouth breather. They breathe with their mouth. Why?
True.
Why? Why did they breathe with their mouth?
Because more air can come through at the same time?
I mean, I guess they were both using the mouth and the nose, so I guess both. So maybe both.
Mm.
So yeah, that's cool. Uh, yeah, I guess like the Eastern inspiration is what makes Kimetsu no Yaiba interesting because, like compared to a lot of freaking isekai, like the freaking isekai is just like a copy paste machine, where they copy one another, and as a result, it kind of creates some saturation. Whereas Kimetsu no Yaiba has inspiration from Japanese folklore and Eastern science. So there's a very interesting aesthetic going on there.
Yeah, definitely.
Kimi no Nawa. Did you watch it?
Which one?
You Kimi no Nawa, the one right after Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie.
I don't think so. Can you send me the link to it? Because I can't see the list like you can.
Oh, really? You didn't? Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you have to like go to my anime list and select top anime and most popular.
Okay. And most popular, you said.
Yeah.
Most popular. And we were over at Kimi no Wawa. I have not seen it actually.
Okay.
I have heard of it, and I've heard that it's really good, but I have not seen it.
Yeah, I mean, I did see a portion of the video and did spoil myself, but generally, I think the soundtrack and the visuals of the story is really good, and it's a body swap story where the girl gets in the body of the boy and the boy gets into the body of the girl. I don't think it's very special in terms of story. I really don't see it. Okay, Steins Gate.
Also, another one I have intentionally jumped over because it just didn't feel like something I would enjoy.
Oh, I see. Okay, my opinion on Steins Gate is that it's kind of overrated. I mean, this show has been like out in 2011, and it has been consistently up here solely because there aren't that many better time travel stories. I mean, I think
Like when it came to this anime, like and me considering watching it, I just felt like I had already been seeing Fate. I didn't need another type of version of it. You know.
oh, huh. I wouldn't say it's similar to Fate. It's more similar to. I mean, the first half is kind of like slice of life. Then it turns into time travel. So I guess it's similar to Doctor Who, or I don't know, Erased. If you watched it,
Yeah, I have.
yeah, it is similar to Erased in that sense. But I also kind of have less appreciation for it because time travel isn't real. Like that is one of the most that might be one of the most shit arguments. But this show is trying to convince me that plugging your phone into a microwave is going to create a time machine, and I don't want to hear them talking about that for 3 or 4 episodes, which they did do, and I don't care. But
So they're
generally,
trying to amplify the logics which aren't applicable to the actual world, and
yeah.
just over exaggerate that logic.
I mean, yeah, they also
That
kind of like
sounds
talk about
boring.
this like a lot because Attack on Titan like talks about it too, but it's uh not long, and they do like the secrets of the Titans like do contribute to the political narrative of Attack on Titan, whereas in Steins Gate, I mean, it kind of does, but at the same time, just felt like they were nerding up, and I was like, okay, cool, nice hobby you got there. Too bad I'm not contributing to it. But disregarding that, I also just I do admit that the story has very likable characters and there are very dramatic and sad moments in the story. So I do
Mm.
appreciate those moments, which were well done. I just think
Okay.
that like the most popular anime in a top 10 list in like number 13 is really high, and this show has been like so much loved for like the entirety of its existence. I just want to like I just want people to criticize it, please. Yeah,
Fair.
yeah. Okay, No Game No Life.
No game, no life. Another one of those which I have been planning to watch, just haven't had the time
I
to.
only watched 2 episodes, so let's just skip.
Unfortunately.
Naruto Shippuden.
I have watched.
Yeah.
And it was good, but there's also so many fillers, you know?
Yeah. Like if you just see, the thing about this is that I think like if you read the manga without all the fillers, or if you somehow magically watched Naruto Kai, a fan a fan mod. I mean, I guess a fan cut that cuts out all the filler. It's really good, and I also do think that Kishimoto definitely made the story more politically interesting and the theme more interesting because as much as like working hard and stuff like that was good and interesting. Like the political aspect of Naruto Shippuden is really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, it's really fun. And I also do
But
have to
I mean, to be fair, mm? Yeah.
yeah, and I also do have to admit that this show did like become like really mature in the sense that like I don't think a lot of people notice this, but in Naruto Shippuden, at the start of Naruto Shippuden, Naruto kind of like cares about being a Hokage, kinda, but at the same time, his goal have completely shifted towards like saving Sasuke, and people like feel pissed off about that. But I really love it. Like the more I think about it, the more I feel like the Naruto and Naruto Shippuden is much more wiser because the kid Naruto kind of has this like awful mentality of, oh, I want to become Hokage because I want power and I want the money and the bitches. Like you can't deny that he was thinking that when he was a child. Whereas
But he was very, very into the entire aspect of, I just want to be recognized as a person, and this is the only way I feel like that's possible.
yeah,
Because everybody sees me, as this monster.
yeah, that's true. But at the same time, that desire is also kind of very selfish because uh, he's just kind of like assuming that if I like become Hokage, people will be forced to recognize me. Like at least in episode 1, he did think that. Haku kind of
Yeah, got it.
changed his mind, where he like protecting his comrades is more important, and in Naruto Shippuden, like he almost like embodies Haku's mentality even more, but at the same time, he isn't like being a slave to someone like Haku. He like genuinely wants to like bring Sasuke back, and he even says that I one of my favorite moments is that when Sasuke asks Naruto like, "Don't you want to become Hokage? Why do you like come here, like you're wasting your time. And Naruto says that if I can't save my friend, like what's the point of becoming Hokage? And I do feel the maturity in that line. So
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
so that's very interesting. But
But
god
also
dang it, yeah, okay,
in that regard, of the older Naruto, he was talking a shit ton about wanting to go and save Sasuke, and everybody was like, shut the fuck up, go and train. You're not ready for that type of shit yet."
yeah,
Literally, like every like third episode, it was like, "But I want to go and save Sasuke. Like, please give me a lead or anything so I can actually just move out the fuck out of here and go save my friend." And everybody's like, "No, you're a child. Sit down."
yeah. I mean, to be
So I mean, he
fair,
had that objective from the start a lot.
I mean, to be fair, you do realize that half of Naruto, the original, is filler, right? So that kind of
Yeah.
makes things weird, very weird because, like, Naruto, after like failing to save Sasuke, like immediately goes to train with Jiraiya. So in the
Yeah.
manga, Naruto Shippuden starts literally after Naruto versus Sasuke. So those filler episodes are kind of weird in the canon.
That's fair. That is fair.
So yeah, I definitely think that Naruto Shippuden is very awesome. If you like can't skip with the filler, and I also do think that the pain arc was really impressive. Like the pain arc to the Kage. I mean, when Sasuke was fighting Itachi and when Naruto was like fighting Pain, that was might have been the pinnacle of Naruto Shippuden, in my opinion. That
It
like dude,
was
like
really nice.
yeah, dude,
It
like
was really nice.
yeah, yeah. Those are like really good. Like if you like cut out all the filler and I don't know, add more fights to it, I think it's on par with like Attack on Titan season 4. Like legit.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, yeah. Like in terms of
I can
themes,
see that.
there is. It's just that like after Naruto like defeats Pain, the freaking ostrich filler happens. And there's this whole filler arc, so it kind of killed the mood a little bit.
Not a little bit, a lot.
Oh yeah, okay, a lot. So and if like the freaking UFO table in an alternate reality where freaking UFO table adapted Naruto Shippuden will be hype as shit. So yeah,
Yeah.
Code
Like
Geass.
very. But yes, I watched that actually really recently.
Oh, that's cool. Because I
Have
did.
you seen it?
Yes, of course. It's legendary.
Good. Yeah. And it's worth it.
Yeah. But at the same time, though, like comparing this Code Geass, the Death Note, is kind of weird because I think the problem with Death Note is that it's too down to earth and sometimes feels a little bit boring, but at the same time, it doesn't have a lot of plot holes. Whereas Code Geass kind of sacrifices logic to do cool shit. Yeah, like Code Geass is the definition of rule of cool.
Yeah, you're not wrong. If you can do a backflip and shoot someone, then why would you do? Why wouldn't you do that instead of just shooting someone?
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, the story is definitely interesting. I guess there were like certain like weird aspects or plot holes, I would say. The freaking problem with a lot of these mind games is that they kind of like force you to be critical about its plot and plot holes because the story is trying to present itself as this big brain 300 IQ story. So you kind of like feel tilted to nitpick it, but the issue with Code Geass is that yeah, there are certain plot holes or weird shit, weird logic going on if you do nitpick it. But I do think, like, regardless of that, the show is very enjoyable and very emotional. I think the problem with Death Note is that it's a bit too cold at times. Like, the emotion is a little too cold sometimes.
Yeah.
Whereas in Code Geass, you definitely do feel like the emotion. They definitely made you. They definitely know how to make you cry like a bitch. So yeah.
But like something I really enjoyed about Code Geass is the entire, and the entire aspect of it's like every battle is put like logical aspects of what are the advantages we can take, what logical advantages in the society, etc. How can we utilize them in the most definite aspect without getting rooted out because of it and stuff. They actually think through the fights and how to like create them to make them intriguing, but at the same time following certain elements of realism. Obviously it's a
Yeah.
it's a sci-fi anime, so it's not gonna be realistic, but in the environment itself it's realistic for what we have accessible. I think that is really, really cool.
Yeah.
It's not like they just all out of nowhere pull out a fucking nuke. They have everything planned out properly, except the part where they actually randomly pull out the fucking nuke with a flying fortress. But outside of that part, they have it all realistic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I also really I really like the fact that this show kind of like tries to like juggle all these different genres. Like people have problems with Code Geass's fan service and school moments. I don't have a problem with this. If anything, I find it very interesting too because I did watch like a video of Lelouch Lamperouge and the many masks of Lelouch Lamperouge, and like that's just and I totally agreed with that video, and that video talked about how this Lelouch character is like acts so much to the point that he himself doesn't even know who he is. Like he tries to be this great friend to all his high school friends, and he tries to be this like big brother to Nanoli, and then he tries to be this rebellious justice warrior. But at the same time, in his heart, he also has a lot of hate, and the story really like pushes Lelouch over the edge, where he has to betray his friends, his rebellion, and finally, spoilers. I'm sorry, but his sister. So like
Oh, I've seen it all, so don't worry.
yeah, so yeah, like the second season just like in terms of drama, this like Code Geass is a masterpiece because like Lelouch as a character has certain values, and then those values just get like challenged like heavily, and at the end of the story, Lelouch like betrayed everyone he loves, and like just lies all the way to the end until he dies, and most people just didn't know and understand Lelouch, and only like Lelouch like buried his truth to his grave, and like only not only like discovers the truth of what Lelouch was trying to do. And that's very tragic. That's really good drama. It's pretty
Yeah, like
good.
there was a few people who knew about it. I don't remember the name of him, but the guy that
I mean, okay,
became
Sasaki knew about
a
it,
cyborg-looking guy.
but the general world and not only knew about it by sheer luck.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, Code Geass.
But the fact that he actually decided to be like, okay, to save the world from suffering, I will become the villain just to make it end. I want the circle to stop, and I will do anything for it. I mean, it's such a good plot twist.
Yeah, it's a really good. Yeah, it's the best plot twist in anime. I mean, maybe. I mean, I guess like if you like since you watch Naruto, Itachi being a good guy is a pretty good twist too. But nah, I think Lucius is a better one. I mean,
Yeah,
again, in comparison.
without a doubt.
Okay, here's a comparison question: do you prefer Death Note or do you prefer Code Geass?
Okay, yes, without a doubt.
Oh, that's interesting.
I really, I really like Death Note, but Code Geass was
Yeah, I
better
mean,
in my
yeah.
opinion.
I think like if you like look at the thematic implications, Lelouch's character is much better than Light. Like Light is fun to watch, but he is an asshole at the end of the day. Whereas Lelouch is does a lot of interesting shit and a lot of goes through a lot of development.
Yeah, definitely.
But
And he doesn't stop surprising you either. He
yeah,
just keeps going with it.
yeah, that's very interesting too. Whereas Light kind of falls off towards the second half, and
Mm,
and but for if you like go directly about pure mind games and logic, I actually might like prefer Death Note because there are some really like strange plot holes like in the Code Geass. Like I think towards the end where Lelouch just uses the Geass on everyone at the at the embassy and just says, "Be my slave," and just controls everyone for the rest of the war. And I was like, "Cool. Why didn't you do that from the start?" Oh wait, no, that's
really?
not. Wait. Fuck, that's actually not a plot hole. That's actually what the hater said, and I actually found out a reason for why he did that. It's because like his Geass evolved after meeting Charles in the dreamscape world or something. So that was why he was able to do that. So that's actually not a plot hole. I'm sorry, Code Geass fans who are going to watch this one. Okay, so but yeah, I do think it's very debatable. But I also myself might prefer Code Geass too. Like, if you really think about the themes and not nitpicks like the nitty gritty of the story, I think Code Geass might be better.
Yeah. Death Note
Toradora.
was good, but this is just so good.
Okay,
Toradora. I have seen a little bit of it, but not much,
I have
unfortunately.
finished it. It's very cute. Basically,
Mm?
it's a romance anime, but I think one of the advantages of Toradora is that, yeah, the confession, the romance, to spoil you, I guess, the romance doesn't really happen, but at the same time, I don't care because Taiga and Ryuji are so much like good friends, and there are so many fun moments. It's a really good like comedy slice of life romance anime, I would say. Yeah, the
Yep.
characters are very likable, and there's also like very interesting themes about like taking care of one another and like teenagers just living life, I guess. Noragami.
Noragami Aragoto?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I watched. I
Yes,
mean, both.
Noragami.
Noragami is so good, man.
It's amazing. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, the soundtrack,
It's
the
just
opening, the
such a good
characters.
story. It's
Yeah. Have you
yeah,
read the manga?
exactly. It just hits all the right spot. I have not.
Okay, I actually like get really tired of waiting for a season 3 that I did watch like read the manga, and it gets better, dude. I haven't like finished reading it, but it gets better. Like they actually, I'm so sad that they didn't. They haven't done a season 3 because season 3 like might have one of the most emotional moments in the series,
Mm,
maybe. But yeah, I think like the freaking thing about Noragami is that the characters are very likable. This is made by
yeah.
the same guy who made Soul Eater, and like the kind of thing that was irking me about Soul Eater was the fact that the characters are a little bit of annoying, whereas in Noragami they kind of aren't. Well, and I also really like the aspect of Noragami and how it combines different aspects of life and different tones and genres. There are moments where Noragami feels very emotional, very sad, depressing. There are moments where it's legitimately like becomes very funny. Like there is like a certain arc, or at least certain scenes in the manga where I was laughing my ass off. It was very funny. It's a very fun show.
I like it. It hits so many spots, both of mental health. If you're looking at the aspect of both our god Ayato, and I don't remember what the female god who's chasing him for everything. The one riding a lion all of the time.
Bishamon.
But like, yeah, the mental health of both of the gods themselves and stuff. It just they managed to nail that type of depression they have both gone through as well. It's like so hard, and her like PTSD from Ayato, being sliced and diced on some of her followers, decades ago when he was a death god.
Yeah, that
just-
arc was really good. The
They
PTSD.
just managed to make it so good.
Yeah, like it's a really good story. For a 24 episode anime, it's a really good story.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Yeah, I also like it's in the manga, but I also like their interpretation of like religion and how gods exist and how this system works. So they also made an interesting world with it. So yeah, that's very interesting. It's a very fun show. The characters are very enjoyable. It's fun. It's goofy. It has everything. It has everything,
Yeah,
which is amazing. Koro no Katachi.
it literally hits every spot.
Yeah, it's so good.
Oh no, Katachi. I have not seen this one actually.
I did see this. Basically, the story is about this bully who bullied this deaf girl in the past, and when they were children, and they meet up as I guess young adults, maybe teenagers, and they like fall in love with one another. It's a very sweet movie. Well, it's definitely a very sweet movie. The animation is really good, and it's also very depressing. The characters kind of do feel a little bit too over dramatic, but it's a good watch, I would say.
Yeah.
Shigatsu wa Kimi no Uso.
You're lying, April.
Yeah.
Oh, I've shed so many tears for this anime.
Oh, dude, I cried at the ending.
Like, it's just... This anime was so amazing and so depressing.
Yeah, it's so depressing. It's so sad. The songs are very good.
Uh-huh. You don't say.
You don't say, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Just remember this making me want to cry.
yeah. This show is very good at making you cry. Like, it's kind of weird because, like, I definitely feel like there are like certain shows that you enjoy with your head, and there are certain shows that you enjoy with your heart. Shigatsu no Kimi no Uso is definitely one to enjoy with the heart because the story
Yeah.
isn't like that interesting in the grand scheme of things, but the execution is really good. Like like the characters' voice acting, the music, and the line deliveries, it just hits those emotional aspects of moments. So, yeah, definitely see why it's popular.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. If you want to cry your fucking eyes out,
Yeah,
then this is an anime for you.
I wanted to say more about it, other than the fact that it's sad. But I'm not a musician. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's a good show. ReZero.
I've heard a lot of good things, but I have not seen it actually.
I did watch a portion of season 1. I guess the thing that kind of puts me off or about like the start is that about the premise is the fact that this guy has infinite tries. And while that's not necessarily overpowered, that's also not very interesting too, because, the thing about other stories is the fact that people only have a one shot at something, whereas in this story, the main protagonist isn't very smart, but he kind of like gets away with it because he dies and reincarnates and gets to try infinitely until he succeeds. So it's just like watching someone play a video game and like play very badly and ram their head against a game over screen over and over and again until they find an out, which is
To be
it's a
fair,
fine.
to
I
be fair
guess.
though,
I get what?
there is another anime with the same type of concept. I don't remember the name of it, which is a realistic one about a girl being murdered.
Oh, you mean erased?
Have you seen that?
Yes, and
Huh? Yes.
I'm not a big fan of
That
erased.
they pulled off. You're not?
Okay, yeah, that might be
Oh
the
my god.
actual opinion that we might disagree on. And I think that might be more interesting too, because I
Yeah.
think, we were constantly gushing over the enemies for quite a while. So I think like Erased might come up. So we might actually talk about it at some point. But I think
Yeah, because I feel like they pulled that off.
but I think the interesting part about
And I know you
ReZero
don't.
isn't the fact that this guy
Hmm?
gets reincarnated, or maybe the start might not be the most interesting part, because later on people keep saying that it gets more interesting, and I'm open minded to it. I will probably watch it someday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Angel Beats I didn't
Yeah, I feel
watch.
I'm a bit the same way.
Yeah,
You didn't watch Angel Beats?
I didn't. I
You
might.
gotta watch Angel Beats.
Probably it's freaking 13 episodes, so it's very short.
It's short, it's brutal, and it's great.
Great. Okay. Okay. Attack on Titan season. I didn't watch One Piece. Mirai Nikki.
I have seen a bit of it, but not all of it.
Me too. I did see a bit of it. It also has that similar aspect to Death Note. Definitely. I think the starting point is
Yeah.
very good. And also, guys, at the time when 2012, when it came out, I think Gasai was a very unique character. Too bad she's not now, because literally every anime yanders keep copying her.
Yeah.
Uh,
But she was the start of a great, aspect of how yandere should be in anime.
yeah, that's yeah. It's an interesting thing too. I guess I guess deaf game stories are enjoyable, very like heart boiling. If you didn't know, I do am big a fan of Danganronpa. Have you watched played
Uh,
Danganronpa?
I have not. I have seen the art style and stuff, and I've heard a little bit of it, and it seems good.
Yeah.
I love the art, but I haven't played
Yeah,
it
I
myself.
definitely recommend playing it. I really think the third game, Danganronpa V3, is really good. Like, it's a really good mystery story. I think what's most okay, I think my viewers are going to shit on me, because I did talk in another video about how I love this video game, and in that video game, it's kind of like Death Note, in that it's where the story is very big brain, but one of the most impressive thing about Danganronpa V3 is that the mystery is entirely solvable. Like, almost every murder that happens and almost every mystery can be solved by the viewer if they're super big brain enough. But it's kind of hard to do that, because the story has insane twists. There are a lot of foreshadowings, but the mysteries are a lot hard to figure out. You have to use a lot of brain power.
Yeah.
So that's a very good story. Going off on a tangent. Akame ga Kill.
One of my personal favorites, actually.
Oh, I didn't watch it, but the first episode was very traumatizing. It looked promising, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
If I say it like this, after the first episode, they keep up that vibe, and they do it successfully almost into the end.
I see. Yeah. So I didn't watch Nanatsu no Taizai.
You didn't?
I didn't.
Oh my god.
Hey,
How dare you?
oh wow, why are you mad? You didn't watch freaking other show too. Okay, I'm going to make you mad. Let's talk about Boku Dake Inai Machi. If you are looking at the list, it's there at 30.
Yeah,
And,
I know this one.
Okay, first of all, as a mystery story, this show is kind of bad. I mean,
Yes.
yes,
I agree.
like the last two episodes were also kind of bad, really.
Yeah.
I think that, like the
I agree
problem
there as well.
like this I guess the only saving grace for this show is that it's only 12 episodes, so it's not a big investment. But at the same time, what's so special about this show other than the fact that the visuals are kind of interesting and the small girl is kind of cute and you want to protect her. But other than that, what's so special about it?
What I really enjoy about the show is the aspect of this little boy doing everything in his power, which is not much at all, to protect someone he barely knows for the simple aspect of wanting to protect them. Not because he got feelings for them or anything, but for the fact that he knows something will happen to them, and he wants to make 100% sure that it doesn't happen. So he does everything in his power, like every single fucking time, to protect them, and it fails every single fucking time repeatedly until he, finally succeeds. And it's so like I really enjoy the aspect of like how the teacher was acting, being the fucking swine that he is, but they made him into a like good character in the aspect that, you're not 100% it's him until you're actually 100% sure it's him,
I mean,
etc. Like, it's a lot of that type of things, a lot of details, which just adds up to make the show enjoyable.
okay, I did predict the murderer. Just saying, it wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
Okay, and second of all,
No.
this show would have been actually good if the main character actually was 12 years old. Like, if this show wasn't a time travel story and it was just a story about a 12-year-old who doesn't have time travel abilities trying to save this girl, it would have been actually really, really good. But the unfortunate fact about this is the fact that the main character is about what, 30 years old, and he goes in past, and he has future knowledge of technology, and just the mentality of future people, and he's 30 years old, and couldn't figure out the sus teacher to be the murderer, and kind of got punished for it. So
He's kind of dumb. But I mean, if he was super smart, like fucking L smart, it would be like one episode and then it would be over.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be working out well for an anime.
Yeah, like the only saving grace for the show is fucking 12 episode. But at the same time, Sword Art Online Part 1 was 14 episode. And I actually think Sword Art Online Part 1 was better than Boku Dake Inai Machi by a long shot. Due to Kirito not going back in time and saving the people he cares about. Kirito, no matter how people bitch about Kirito didn't go back in past and save Sachi. He didn't. He cried like for the rest of his life or something. Whereas this guy had future knowledge. He went back in time. The time travel just doesn't have any explanation. The time travel just is very random. just feels.
I feel like you have an issue with, in general, with time travel,
Yeah.
and that's your that's the
To
thing
be
you really
fair,
despise, no matter what
I
it is.
do like certain time travel stories. The Zero Escape series is like that. But the thing about the Zero Escape series is that it doesn't really care about explain. I mean, it does explain that stuff. It explains the scientific stuff, but in a way that doesn't make it boring, like Steins Gate, and in a way that the time travel is actually crazy. Like it exists there to make the story crazy fun and have crazy plot twists happening all around, and not about the character having an insane advantage of knowledge, but still failing because he's being a bumbling idiot. I'm sorry, I don't like bumbling idiots in a detective story, I guess. That's also one of my complaints.
That's fair,
Yeah.
but look at it this way: if you're a normal person just trying to do the right thing, the general person would not be able to figure out all this shit. Like we know this because we've seen a lot of this shit in the past. Like if we hadn't seen like murder shows or this type of detective shows, animes, whatever, we wouldn't be able to have figured it out either.
I mean,
If you look at it that way,
I
he's
mean,
just some standard
yeah.
person trying to do the right thing,
the guy is
and they amplify that a lot.
a mangaka, so he probably should have watched a lot of Detective Conan. I'm just saying. I mean, seriously,
I doubt
what
it
kind
at
of a
this point,
mangaka doesn't
if you're looking at the show.
like read Detective Conan? Come on. But yeah, I mean, I guess there are like enjoyable aspects of the show, but the fact that it's 12 episodes is also makes it a little bit easier to forgive. But at the same time, the show is so random. I also think that the
Man, I really like the show.
yeah, okay,
I
okay.
don't really care what you say. I really like it.
Okay, I'm not.
So I will
trying
be
to,
opposing
like,
you on this.
Okay, I'm not trying to ruin your enjoyment. If you watch, then fine. That's fine. Fine by me. And we also kind of have to go, so kind of move on. Uh, we have to keep moving forward, and this
Yeah.
Tatakai. That is me trying to make an Attack on Titan reference, I guess. Okay. But I didn't watch Aono Exorcist. I did watch like 10 episodes of Ansatsu no Kyoshitsu. Oh
Yeah.
shit! I think okay. There might have been a problem, but I think there was only like small portion that I didn't record. I'm so sorry. But
Alright.
okay, yeah. Okay, so what I was trying to say is that Haikyuu is good. I mean, you should watch it, and I think one of the problems of Kuroko no Basket is that people with zones only start to matter, whereas the people of like the power level just keeps rising. Whereas in Haikyuu, they kind of like manages to make everyone relevant because volleyball is such a sport that you should only focus mostly on making one thing good. Like if you should
Yeah.
if you're good at spiking and like slapping the ball and attacking, you should only focus on that. And the other like or if you're really good at tossing the ball, you should only focus on that. So it really makes it so that all the characters matter.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And yeah. Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, there we have a golden gem.
Oh yeah, baby, it's really good.
It's fucking amazing. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. It's
I
even
can
more.
without a doubt say that this is my favorite anime of all time.
Whoa, that's crazy. Literally is only the second season, only the first season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, the first season is really strong. And I do have to admit that from a storytelling perspective, this show manages to have that shonen aspect of bingeability, but also kind of makes the story a little bit more complex. And they also manage to make the characters more endearing and more down to earth, but also interesting. See, I also like made a video about where I talk about anime, and I also like praise Jujutsu Kaisen highly for making the characters uh, interesting but also down to earth. That's
Yeah.
very a rare thing. Like Noragami kind of does that in a way.
Yeah, kinda.
Demon Slayer kind of like makes certain characters a little too archetypical, a little too tilted, a little too
Yeah.
annoying. Whereas Jujutsu Kaisen manages to make like characters interesting but down to earth. Like you're like Gojo is so cool. Like Gojo is cool. What's the female's name? I'm sorry. Whose name was that? I'm sorry. I keep forgetting. She
I
has
keep
a.
forgetting the names as well. Don't worry.
Oh shit. I mean, Itatori is also one that too. Like his motivation to be a like being a sorcerer is very interesting too. Where he wants to like carry on his grandpa's will, but he also wants to help people, and he also has this weird tilted edgy side to it.
Mm.
Side to him, but but he also has this weird Goku like aspect where he's a little bit of naive. So he's a very appealing character. The show definitely manages to make the characters very fun and appealing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But-
We can just keep on praising Jujutsu Kaisen for this entire in its entirety for 10 and 20 minutes. I think we should move on
Yeah, easily.
before we
I agree.
get distracted.
But before we move on, if you haven't seen Jujutsu Kaisen, like any of you, go move your ass, see it now. It's worth it. Take your time, watch through it all. Trust
Yeah,
me.
yeah. It's only like 24 episodes, and the animation is great. The soundtrack is great. The characters are great. Blah blah blah. Great, 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 great. You know, it's just
Yeah.
it's a modern classic, I would say. Yeah.
Now we can move on. No, nothing.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, Wonderland. Oh, wait. What? Yakusho Sokuno Neverland. You are seeing the list, right?
Yeah. The Promised Neverland. I have not seen it actually. I know it's really good. I know I should see it, but I haven't seen it yet.
I did see it, and it's very interesting. The atmosphere it creates is very interesting, and it's kind of like Death Note in the sense that, you know, the characters try to be big brain. I think there is a little bit of problem that I had with it, in that the characters spend a little too much time theorizing instead of doing anything actually interesting. That may have been a problem. And I keep hearing a lot of criticisms about the show in the future. So, yeah. Have you watched Bleach?
I have watched bits and pieces of it, but not the entire thing. No.
I have watched the first arc, and I have entered Soul Society. If anything, I should continue Bleach because Soul Society is supposed to be the best aspect of Bleach. And I don't know. There's a lot of training arc beforehand, so I haven't really gotten into that interesting part. But I did get spoiled and did see certain fights and the scenes, and there are some cool scenes too. But yeah, generally I think Bleach is just like Naruto. Definitely deserves its title for being one of the big three, like big three of the past.
Yeah. But like I really love the concept of Bleach.
Yeah.
It's another one of those, like, it has so many episodes. It's just difficult to get into it unless I have like a full free weekend.
Yeah. And I also think that Ichigo as a character is also kind of funny as well. He kind of has that Naruto Goku-esque like I don't want to give up type of mentality, but he also has this
Yeah.
like punk-esque aspect to him where he's sort of like a delinquent, and he is also very charismatic. As much as I don't want to admit, Naruto or Goku is kind of cringe sometimes, and Ichigo has drip both in the manga and in the anime in terms of clothing wear, but he also has cool personality too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Kiseiju Sei no Kakuretsu, also known as Parasyte.
I haven't seen it yet. I need to see it badly. I know
Yeah,
it's like fucking amazingly good and right down my alley. I
yeah,
just haven't seen it yet.
yeah. I'm going to say that it's very similar to Death Note, but in that sense, there are like mind games, but it's also an action story, so action and mind games combined. But there's also
Mm.
like very interesting themes going on about how humanity might be a little too dominant species. So like this aspect tries to like this show tries to analyze whether should humanity should be in the top of the food chain. Maybe it's like maybe might be like convenient for humans, but it might be not be good for nature or something like that. So it
Yeah.
very has very interesting themes, and yeah, it's a pretty good show. And it also like tries to like have an interesting exploration of like logic versus emotions. So whereas these like mutants and like these parasites are very super logical, like they're almost better than like humans in terms of pure logic. But at the same time, does it like make them better than humans or something like that? So it's a very interesting
Mm.
show. Cowboy Bebop.
There we have another one. No.
Did you watch it?
I've seen a little bit. I've seen a
Oh,
little bit, but
okay.
not all of it.
Okay, yeah, I know like people might eat you alive, but I'm not going to like
Yeah.
blame you because there are so many great anime out there. I watched it. It's really good. Like like legitimately in terms of like pure directing, like pure cinematography, pure like soundtrack and cinematography like combination, I don't think there's a TV series that's as good as Cowboy Bebop. Like I can't like think of any like TV series that has a good directing as good as Cowboy Bebop. The only like really
All right.
like problem, or I guess like it's not really not a problem, but I wish like Cowboy Bebop had a really good story, like maybe a good story like I don't know Attack on Titan maybe. Like I wish it kind of had a good story, but the story it has is fine. It's just that it's very episodic. You're basically watching 20-minute movies every time, but it does have that
Mm.
same appeal of like Noragami or Jujutsu Kaisen, where the characters are very interesting, but also down to earth. Like you don't like watch these characters and feel like they're anime characters. You watch these characters and feel like they're legitimate human beings, but at the same time they're not boring human beings. So that's
Yeah.
cool, very cool. So what Sento Chihiro no Kamikukushi. Oh man, I'm butchering this. Spirited Away, I think.
Yes, it is, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, I watched this movie
I've
as a
been a huge Studio Ghibli fan for years and
okay.
years.
I think the only reason I probably don't like appreciate this movie as much is because this movie has become basically my childhood conditioning. Like whenever I was a child, when I was like 3 or 5 or 4 or 5 years old, this movie will be on TV. I'm a Mongolian. I didn't live in Japan or like anywhere. I didn't live in Japan, but even in Mongolia, this freaking movie was on TV on on my cartoon channel all the freaking time, and basically got sensitized to it because I just watched it so many times as a kid to the point that it doesn't feel special anymore. Like I feel like
That is understandable. Like, I get it though. I
like
get it completely.
yeah, I watched
The movie,
like
like every single like, good movie or anime will become washed up personally if you do
yeah
that.
yeah yeah like when you're
I get it completely.
like watch this movie as a kid, like 3 to 4, like 3 to 4, maybe I don't know, freaking, I didn't like I think I watched this movie like full scale 1 or 2 times, and I actually think like talking to you right now, I think I vividly remember really enjoying like that first and second watch, but the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time wasn't very great. It's just on TV, and I just had nothing better to do. So it was just
No,
on
I
TV,
get that.
on TV where I just listened to it on the background while I play or do something else, and it was just playing. And I looked at the TV, and I looked at the story, went to playing, looked at it. So yeah, yeah. This
Yeah, I
movie is
feel
pretty
yeah.
good. I guess in terms of story,
The movie is definitely watch.
I guess in terms of story,
Hmm?
it is a very movie that's for children. Like I'm not going to freaking compare it to Attack on Titan, but at the same time, I'm kind of like addicted to Attack on Titan type of stories. So, uh, if I were to like make a ranking, I will probably give it a good 7 out of 10. But I don't think it's going to get higher up there because I keep valuing stories so much these days. You kind of don't understand
I
that, right?
mean, this one is a movie who
Yeah.
have been like it's
I mean,
been
yeah.
big for so long, and it's been staying big for over 2 decades now.
Yeah. Also,
I
like,
mean, that is
yeah.
worth a lot.
The constant rewatchings also doesn't help. In
I
my
have actually been
appreciation.
managing to avoid that.
Yeah.
So for me, it would be a 9 out of 10. It's a really good movie.
Yeah. For movie standard, it's pretty good. The animation just holds up to this day.
Yeah,
Fairy Tale.
that's a good one.
Oh, you watched it, huh?
I watched the majority of it.
Okay, so about Fairy Tale, I didn't watch it, but what I did watch was do you know the YouTuber Crafts Dwarf?
I don't.
Okay, I think like watching Dwarf's series is absolutely hilarious. Like, if you're a big fairy tale fan, you should definitely watch the entire series. Basically, what that guy did was make like the world's like the entire YouTube's longest video essay shitting on the fairy tale. Okay, but hear me out. He made like
Hmm?
2 hour, 3 hour long like series shitting on fairy tale, and then like after I don't know a year later, he made another 3 hour videos defending fairy tale and talking about how his previous series was a mistake. Like he criticizes himself 3 years ago, the himself that didn't enjoy fairy tale, and criticizes himself for not enjoying fairy tale, and he defends fairy tale, saying, "Oh, this show was like good, was always good. Like even if it doesn't has a lot of fake out deaths, it's a very genuinely like emotional story. I was just an idiot. I was just like being a mania head, and I'll prove why I was a stupid head. So I'll like rewatch and edit, like re-comment on the videos I made and shit on myself, the me before 1 year ago, so that you don't have to feel bad. Fairy tale fans don't have to feel bad, and that's the most amazing character development I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that does sound pretty fucking good, because like Fairy Tail is lacking in a lot of areas, don't get me wrong here, but it's still a really nice watch.
Yeah, I definitely do like enjoy it, understand that. yeah, like the freaking problem of like story criticism is that it's so hard to like uh stray away from that mentality of, oh, I want this thing but the author did this thing, but my ideas are better and I'm superior to the author, and the author is stupid for doing the things they did. Like it's so like hard to like stray away from that, avoid that mentality. A lot of critics like fell into that mentality, and Fairy Tail is the way it is because Mashima wanted it to be that way. Like if he wanted to like be a cruel series like Akame got killed and like just wanted people to die all over the place, he probably will have done it. But he also probably realized, you know, there's no really like point in doing that. Instead, it's probably better to have like let the character stay alive, have development, and be nice to be a cool to one another, and have this, you know, small cool life lessons. You know.
Yeah, it's just a decently long slice of life fantasy anime, to be honest, as its core.
Yeah,
Like, it's just good vibes and just chill.
yeah, I definitely understand that. Okay, Tokyo Ghoul, you know, uh, we talked about this. Code Geass.
Yep.
Kill la Kill. I didn't watch it.
I haven't seen.
Probably should. Okay, Death Parade.
Also haven't seen, but I definitely should.
Okay, I did see it, and okay, this is like one of my other takes, but this show is not very good. But then again, you like enjoyed, no, Erased, so you might enjoy this. The reason I don't like this show, like particularly, is because I mean this show is so weird because the only first episode, like it's so hard to like talk this about this show because you don't want to spoil the first episode. But like okay, it's a very like simple story, but basically the in the first episode it's revealed that the people who are doing a death trial were already dead. So this show is just about uh, judging dead people and whether a barter should send those people to heaven or hell. And the freaking thing I can't stand about this show is that this show just has weird logic in sending certain people to hell or heaven. I kind of really wish like this show would have been amazing if they talked about why they're sending certain people to hell and certain people are getting reincarnated. I'm sorry, they don't go to heaven. They just get reincarnated. So I'm really curious. I think this show would have been amazing if they like actually talked about that religion aspect of why certain people should go to hell and why certain people should should reincarnate, and they don't do that. Instead, they just do a lot of mind game. They play a lot of death games where the death game try to like reveal the true nature of these people. And I don't know, certain episodes feel kind of contrived, but like it's a fine watch. Like it's a solid 5 out of 10. If you think five is average, like people keep criticizing me for sometimes saying certain shows are 5 out of 10 because to me 5 out of 10 is average because I usually have a very positive opinion, but my positive levels are very different. There's a huge difference between me saying that Your Lie in April is good and me saying that Neon Genesis Evangelion is good. Like there are differences, huge differences. So I have to like give the average anime a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, Neon Genesis. Evangelion.
Yeah, you're not gonna like this.
Oh, you're that guy. Okay. I mean,
I'm that guy. Yeah, actually, damn right I am. Damn right I am. I'm that guy.
okay, let's hear. I really, really want to hear you talk on this one because you have been very
No,
positive.
I'm that guy. I haven't seen it even. I'm that guy.
Oh, you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Okay. I thought that you had like hatred towards Neon Genesis Evangelion or something. It's fine. I mean, it's
No, not
okay.
even that.
Oh, not even that. Okay. I think if you watch, you probably would enjoy it because it's very similar to the characters are very similar. I guess they're not. I mean, they are similar to Cowboy Bebop in the way that they're very down to earth but interesting. But they're the exact of Cowboy Bebop in the sense that the characters are very pathetic, whereas the cast of Cowboy Bebops are really cool. Like they have a very snappy line, cool dialogue, and whereas this story is about like mentally damaged people, like about yeah, that's a good explanation. uh, let's move on, I guess. Then another.
I don't think I actually saw another. Even though I wanted to, I
Okay,
think it just kind of flew over my head.
me too. Violet Evergarden.
Yes!
Oh no, I'm that guy.
It's so good!
Okay, I didn't watch it, so I'm that guy now.
If I put it this way, if you have you seen the art of Violet Evergarden?
Yeah, it looks. I did watch one episode, and it looks really good. And I am
The
kind of
art
like,
is worth it alone.
yeah, I know.
And the anime is really, really slow. Don't get me wrong here, it's insanely slow. So if you can't handle slow animes, don't watch it. If you want to cry like a fucking little baby, then you should watch it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you should probably know that I do enjoy a lot of different genres since I and I do enjoy the slice of life romance genre. But
Mm.
yeah, I think I will probably like Violet Evergarden if I ever watch it. So yeah, Shokugeki no Soma,
Food Wars.
Food Wars. Yeah,
Classic.
yeah, I heard it's good. I only watched one
Classic.
episode, mainly because
It gets better.
yeah, I guess
gets
it's
better.
probably gets better. Anything to say?
It's a good mix if you're liking etchy shit in combination with like actual fucking comedy anime with fighting scenes. Except it's not fighting; it's actually cooking. It's just a really good watch. They have good art style, they have good voice acting. It's up to date, and I mean, it's just overall a really nice watch.
Yeah, I see. Soul Eater.
I like Soul Eater. Soul Eater is good.
Yeah, Soul Eater is pretty fun. Also, just the fact, but I actually can't stand the sub of Soul Eater, which is really strange because most people like can't stop dubs. I watched the Soul Eater sub, and Mako's voice acting is bad. Like
Yeah, it is.
it is, it's bad. So much so that I had to switch to the dub. That very rarely happens. Like I know Japanese, but at the same time, my Japanese is really bad. But at the same time, my Japanese was enough to know that Mako was a really bad voice actor, so I had to switch to the dub, and dub is good.
I watch the entire thing in sub because I can't stand dub.
I see.
In general at least. And like I agree, the voice acting on there was awful, but it was worth it. It
I
was
see.
worth it.
Yeah, I guess the big disadvantage of watching the dub is that Mamoru Miyano plays Death the Kid in the sub, so I kind of missed out on that. So that's a little bit of a tragic thing. And I definitely do think like similar to Noragami, Like having your teammates as a weapon is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I guess
definitely.
there are
I
some
like the concept of it. It's nice.
like I guess there's some disadvantages to it because like you can't have like team attacks when your teammate is your weapon. uh, like for example, Naruto and Sasuke can work together to do a team attack, whereas Mako and Soul can't do that because they just like Soul is the weapon, so there goes that, I guess. But I mean, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
just like the power of friendship. The friendship affecting their power is really cool.
Sure.
And there are also like generally like shonen, like working hard and blah blah blah, like going against impossible odds things that are very appealing. Psychopaths.
I've not seen.
I did watch 3 or 4 episodes, and it's really good. I should probably continue it. Okay, so Ano Anohana 55.
A flower that we saw that day. Another anime that makes me want to get drunk and cry on the floor repeatedly.
So you did watch it, huh?
I watched it and it's depressing. It's only 11 episodes, but those 11 episodes made me cry!
Okay, between
Hello?
Shigatsu and Anohana, which made you cry more?
Mm, probably this one, I would say.
Wow, okay. That's interesting. Huh. Well, yeah, I mean, it's 11 episodes, so probably like worth watching. Like, not a big investment.
It is 100% worth watching. Yes,
Yeah.
God, yes, do it.
Okay, Gurren Lagann.
uh, Gurren Lagann. I have not seen.
Oh, you have to see this one. It's like I think one of the most interesting thing about is that the power scaling in this in this world is directly related to how much of a shonen protagonist you are. Basically, the more you act like a man and the more you act like a Chad and the more brave you are, the more stronger you get. So the more manly and more brave you are, like the machines get stronger. And when you get a little bit cowardly, or when you like feel fear inside your heart, the machines like shut down. So that's an interesting fact about that. The other fact is that well, the story has a lot of good themes like and messages to send, just like Evangelion. Basically, like this show is similar to Evangelion, but it's shown much more shonen and much less depressing. I guess the freaking thing about that pisses people off about Evangelion is that the people in Evangelion are either assholes or very pathetic, whereas the people in Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann are really cool and likable. So yeah. Okay. Bunny Girl Senpai is at number 59.
Bunny Girl Senpai. 59. There. It's another one that I've only seen funny clips of, but not seen the actual show
I
yet.
definitely think that the first 6 episodes or so are, I mean, the first 4 episodes or so are really good because it's about my and like the main female interest and the female character and the main character have a really good chemistry going on. And I also really like the personality of the main lead because he's just like he literally jumped out of an YouTube abridged series and went into an anime. That's how funny he is.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a really good watch. I kind of did drop it because the main character kept running after different girls. And also Dr. Stone.
Mm. Another one I need to see but haven't.
Okay, I did watch good portion of Dr. Stone, about 10 episodes or so. And the thing I like about Dr. Stone is that it's about actual science, not about fake science. Dude, I think
Fair.
the Gates fans are going to mold, but it's about like. Did you read the summary about this show?
Yes.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like, this is also like part of people have to understand that a lot of people like have this mentality that, oh, you need to be this writing mastermind or writing critic who like studied freaking writing in a university to be a good mangaka or a good novel artist. That's not true. Like, you have to first of all be good at something, and the author of this show is very good at chemistry and science. So he literally just teaches you how to create a gun, how to create a bomb in this show. And it's very powerful because it's real.
Mm.
And also the show does talk about, society and the people's corruption and a lot of social criticism. So I really enjoy those aspects. Yeah, it's a really good show. Darling in the Franxx 61.
Another one I have seen a lot of funny clips of, but I haven't seen yet.
Charlotte.
Charlotte. Let's see here. I have seen this one. It was a long time ago, but I have seen this one. And I did like it. I don't remember much else about it.
I see. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see it. Elfen Lied.
Elfen Lied. Fair. Did I see this one? I don't think so.
Okay. I didn't either. Jojo. I saw it. Probably. Yeah.
Jojo.
Jojo.
Yes, I've seen Jojo.
Jojo. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. I think currently I did like watch part 1, part 2. Okay, I skipped a huge portion of part 3. Basically, what I did is I watched the start of part 3, skipped all the way to the Darby Brothers fight.
Okay.
So just so I can watch
I
the final fight. I just want to freaking watch the Dio versus Jotaro fight so bad. I skipped through it.
Yeah, that's fair, though, honestly.
However, I did watch the full of JoJo Part 4. And my favorite part is JoJo Part 4. Yeah, it's really good.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. It's so creative. Like,
Yeah, that is true.
so, your opinion?
I mean, the entire show is really fucking nice.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Any hot takes about JoJo or anything?
I mean, it's a really good show. Definitely recommend to watch it. It's unique as of like God knows what. There's no other show like it. That's for fucking sure.
Yeah, it does.
And if you're into general type of action ones, then definitely give it a watch. It's good.
Yeah. Kaguya-sama.
Kaguya-sama. Another one that I haven't watched yet. Need to watch. Seen a lot of clips of.
Yeah, there are a lot of clips on YouTube. I did watch the first season, I think. Almost in its entirety. Maybe I skipped a few episodes. But yeah, it's a really fun show. But I guess the only problem with it is that it doesn't have a lot of story. Like it's the freaking thing about, like, okay, I did made a previous video complaining about like criticizing Kaguya, basically saying that the characters are being assholeish to one another. It was a small critic, but my general opinion on the show is that I really like it. And you
Mhm.
also have my viewers and you also have to understand that, like, my feelings for Kaguya is very weird or conflicted. It's kind of like I want this ship to happen. I want these characters to be happy, but and this romance to go. But the show is such as that this like the show's entire premise is this two people being like acting like a light Yagami against one another, like being dishonest to one another and not like having a romance. So it's kind of very frustrating. Like if you have a desire to like want to see them uh, go out, which I do, which makes it very frustrating sometimes.
No, I get that. I get
Yeah.
that completely.
Uh, Devil is a part timer, 68.
I fucking loved the show. I'm not gonna lie. I found it fucking hilarious and so good.
I see. Yeah, I did heard about what this one was about. It looked very, very interesting.
But you haven't seen it yet, eh?
Yeah, I didn't.
I definitely recommend it. If you're into badass anime fights in combination with a slice of life anime with a shit ton of comedy.
Okay, Fate Zero.
I mean, it's fate. Don't need to say anything else.
Oh yeah, you watched Fate, huh? Yeah, it's really good.
Uh huh.
Yeah, I
It's
guess
really good.
I actually kind of do like Fate Zero over Unlimited Blade Works. I really, really am like trying to make myself watch the Heaven Feels movie, but for some reason I'm not watching it. I probably should, but yeah. Fate Serious, UFO Table, pretty good studio, pretty good series. Fate Series in particular has a lot of political discussion, which I really enjoy. I think one of
Mm.
the aspect about Unlimited Blade Works is that it's a little at the first half is a little too straightforward death game, where characters don't talk to one another and they beat the shit out of one another. And I kind of do enjoy characters talking,
Yeah, that is fair.
and also like the
I
character.
can.
Yeah, go on, go on.
Hmm?
Go on.
No, all I wanted to say was that I can definitely see that being, a pretty big issue of the show.
Yeah, I mean,
But like a reason why people wouldn't like it.
yeah, but I guess the thing about Fate Zero is that it's very appealing to both sides. Whereas, like, if you're like intellectual person who likes like deep discussions, then Fate Zero has a lot of those, and the characters also say it in a really charismatic manner,
Mm,
and they also have a lot of cool fights. Whereas in
that
Unlimited
is true.
Blade Works, the fights are very dominant. However, the like the discussion that Emiya and Archer has towards the end is very good. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
honestly don't remember it. It was a long time ago since I saw it.
Huh. I mean, it was 2014, so I guess that was a long
Yeah,
time.
I mean
So,
that.
but I guess my memory,
Yeah, it's 8 years ago.
like I guess watching that discussion and then hearing Amer's soundtrack going Kizutsu Kunoa, like that was so iconic to me to the point I think I'm remembering that scene. And it also kind of doesn't help that I did rewatch that scene quite a few times on YouTube.
I mean that would explain a lot in that regard.
Yeah, in that regard. High School of the Dead.
Haven't seen yet. Have seen funny clips. I need to see it.
It's very funny and very horny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope I never had. Oh, so yeah, I need to see it. Nothing else I can say about it. It just needs to happen.
Okay, you are looking at the list, right? Or not?
Yep, I am.
Okay, which show you want to like talk more? Because I have not like watched a lot of these shows. Like shows I watched
Like,
are starting to disappear.
I've seen a decent amount of these. Like right after High School of the Dead, I've seen How to Pick Up Girls in Dungeon. I've seen Overlord, Black Clover. I mean, we already talked about Noragami. Uh, that's just Konosuba again. We haven't talked about Konosuba.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, we did like talk
what?
about a little bit, but if you want to elaborate, you can.
No, that's fine. Haven't you seen Kakugurui?
Let's see. What? Okay, there
Number
is.
82.
Okay, like you want to talk about Overlord because I'm really interested too in the show. Like I did watch like
I'm hold on.
one episode or something. Overlord.
Mm,
I like did you
yes.
watched it, right?
Yeah, I watched it.
Is it
I watched a lot of Overlord.
yeah, is it good?
It is. It is really good.
I
It,
see.
it keeps up the hype, if I say it like that.
Yeah, I am kind of a little bit spoiled on it, but yeah, it looks very interesting. Shield Hero. I did watch a huge proportion. If anything, when it was airing, I kind of did become a Shield Hero fan for a short while. Have
Yeah,
you?
I had the same thing. Like, it was a really, really nice short watch, but after that, it just thinned out.
Yeah, the freaking problem with the show is that the start is really good, and it has certain things that like really click, certain drama aspects. I think the first 4 episodes could just be turned into a movie, and it probably will be a really good movie. Because
Yeah,
the first
definitely.
the first 4 moments where like Navia raises Raftalia, and then like people criticize Navia for making still treating Navia like now treating Raftalia as a slave, and like rebelling against Naofumi. That's really a good moment. Like episode 4 was
Yeah,
probably one of my favorite in the series, and there were a few scenes after that. Uh, but the freaking problem with this show is that it kind of falls off, either because there isn't really anything interested in the themes, either because the fights aren't really well animated. It has and it also has to do with the villains becoming more and more petty and useless. And
yeah, it just goes in circles in that regard, which is
yeah,
sad. It
yeah,
has so much potential.
yeah. I kind of feel like if like the writer had like like stopped and like planned and like thought about a good arc and then continued it, it easily could be very good. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree 100%. It
I
had so much potential, but it lost it.
yeah. Bakemonogatari. I only watched a few episodes.
Bakemonogatari. I have not seen it actually,
Okay,
which is a little bit sad.
okay. So okay, a lot of animes I didn't see coming up. So if you have seen certain animes and want to talk about them, you should probably. And like, feel free to
Something
spoil.
I can recommend. Hmm?
Feel free to spoil because you kind of
Well,
do need some spoiler to enter. Uh, I think the prime example is Madoka Magica.
yes. Yeah, I was really close into not watching that at all, but then it's just,
You
I
watched
had
it,
to.
yeah.
I
It's good. It's good.
It is good.
Yeah.
Also,
Oh,
there's a lot of animes here I have seen and warmly recommend. For
okay.
example, Kakegurui, number 82. It's a game about, or no, it's an anime, not a game, about gambling. Gambling with high stakes. So it's etchy to some regard. Didn't you know that? But like it really shines light on the adrenaline people can get from stuff like gambling, and they pull it off so good, and the art style fits in really, really well with everything they've done.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's just overall such a nice anime to watch, just straight up.
Cool. Cool.
So highly recommend that one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's. I did watch Kaiji, and so maybe I'll enjoy it.
If I said like this, you know how like the entire school is about gambling.
Oh,
The
okay.
entire ranking system is based on how well you gamble with your money. If you're rich, then you obviously have more chances, and you can manipulate the games into your favor. This one is about a girl with a heavy fucking adrenaline addiction, and she wants to gamble for everything. But she's also really smart. So she manages to like see where the opponents are like cheating in their games and utilize the same cheats, but they're using to win it for herself.
Okay. Yeah, I see. I see.
So she's big brain but horny for gambling because adrenaline.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a crazy fun, like in a similar way to High School of the Dead, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
well, I can't agree nor disagree on that regard since I haven't seen it,
Oh,
but
yeah, I see, I
I
see.
believe it would be in the same aspect.
Yeah, I mean, if it's horny, yeah. Hyuka.
Kyoka. I have not seen that one actually.
Okay, okay. You wanna talk about Madoka? Cause uh, it's so weird because don't really like watch that many uh magical girl shows. Not that I have anything against them, but I just don't have a like I don't know a chance to or a reason to. I guess I did watch this solely because it was like Uro Butcher's work, and I was like heavy into Fate Zero, so I had to watch this. And yeah, for a 12 episode anime, this is like really good. I also really like the world building and how there were different like magical girls trying to like have their own sects and like places they are trying to protect, and just the wishes the characters made and how those wishes turning out to be their greatest downfall.
Mm.
Yeah, it's very like
Yeah, like
emotional.
the entire anime was
And so
yeah, like it went from a feel good anime to an actually really good anime,
yeah,
and they managed to pull off that switch really nice.
yeah,
Like just starting, like looking at the show itself, just looking at the picture, looking at the description and stuff, people wouldn't generally, believe it to turn out as, you know, deep, if you want to call it that, as it actually is.
yeah.
It's surprising, and it's a pleasant surprise.
Oh, so wait, did you like actually watch this show while it was airing or not?
No, not when it was airing. I
But
watched it like a year after.
did you like get spoiled on a twist?
I did not. I just got
Oh,
really,
that's
really
good
recommended
because
by people to watch it
I mean I
literally
didn't
all the
like
fucking time.
get spoiled on the details, but I didn't know it was going to go dark. In fact, that's why I watched it. Probably as much as I like love romance animes and slice of life. It becoming
Mm.
dark and good was probably a huge attraction for me.
Yeah, it would have been for me as well, but I just had people surrounding me with like, you need to watch this now, repeatedly, like every day until I watch it. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll fucking watch it, then be done with it,
Oh, I see, I
And
see.
then it turned out to be really good.
Okay,
I just
so
gave in to peer group pressure.
mhm. I think we should like stop our video on number 100. I think will be like a really good stopping point. So, if you
I
want to
agree.
like talk about the anime that are left, feel free to, because there are a lot of anime and there are like certain animes that are worth talking about.
Definitely. And Tensei Shitara Slime Dataken, number 92. Have you heard of it before?
Oh, it's slime, right? I did hear good things about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, how
It's
good is
worth
it?
it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
so worth it.
yeah,
On a
probably.
scale of like 1 to 10, I would like actually put the first season as a 9. It's that good.
I see.
It scales off afterwards, but the first season, definitely a watch.
Well, huh. So, like, what's the most impressive aspect of the show? Like, the theme or the characters?
I mean, it starts off with a pretty good character, like build up from, he's a slime, straight up. And the slime is, fucking hyper weak. But a slime can also absorb and materialize, or like, not materialize, analyze all items that, it eats. And as it's a slime, it can eat pretty much fucking everything. Which
Oh,
makes sense, right?
I see, I see.
So he starts by spawning into a really, really deep cave. Like, really fucking deep cave outside of everything. And he doesn't know that he's a slime. He just knows that he died and, delete my hard drive. Literally his last dying words. And he spawns in a deep cave, completely blind, not knowing anything what's around him or anything. But it's like a video game, like Sword Art Online.
Oh, I see, I see.
And he just has the sense around him. He doesn't know, like, he can't see anything or anything. He just feels things around him. And that's it. So he feels plants around him and start analyzing them, and they apparently have healing effects. So he's like, okay, this might be a good thing to have, I guess. So he starts just eating all of them because, healing plants deep in an underground cave when he got nothing better to do. And yeah, sure, let's do it. Then he starts eating crystals and analyzing those because those are apparently down here as well, which is also really good. And then, he comes across water. And water, now that shit is... You can do a lot of things with water, like learning the attack of Water Blade, which allows him to
Oh, I
start
see.
killing monsters. Him killing monsters means he's being able to eat them. Him being able to eat them means that he's able to take on some of their properties and stuff. So it goes from being the aspect of Sword Art Online into a more intricate, as it's, from the side of the monsters going from literally 0 to 100.
Oh, I see.
If that makes sense.
Oh, I understand the appeal. It's very like similar to like other shonen shows too. Like you have a like unique ability and you like get stronger and stronger as it goes on. That's very interesting. Like
Yes.
being able to absorb and use those things as an ability. Huh. Okay.
I warmly recommend that if you're into that type of animes.
Yeah, I definitely like see and understand the appeal. And people are saying good things about it, so probably I should watch it.
It's worth the time. I can promise you that much.
Okay. So I
But other than that, it's not really much I have left to talk about.
okay. You wanna
Like
talk
Ghibli
about
movies, I can praise them all day.
you
But
wanna
that's about it.
talk about Dragon Ball Z? uh,
I haven't watched it.
oh, well that's interesting. I mean, I actually kind of didn't grow up with Dragon Ball Z. I was, a Naruto kid,
Hmm.
and it also doesn't help that the Dragon Ball Z did air on TV a lot of the time, but unfortunately, there were like certain arcs that I didn't know about. Like there were like like I keep like finding episodes like on TV that were a little too far ahead, so it was kind of weird, and I couldn't like and also the time where the episodes aired didn't like fit with my schedule, so I couldn't like watch it as a kid. As an adult, I actually, as a teenager, I actually did go and watch a lot of arcs. And funny enough, I think I watched like Dragon Ball Z in its entire most of it thanks to uh, Dragon Ball Z Abridged, which
Uh,
and that abridged series also like stays very faithful to the story while making it funny. So it was a win-win, I think.
yeah.
And
Yeah, I can definitely see that being a good reason then.
mhm. And I also did watch Kaichua Maid-sama. Have you watched this one? 94,
Such made
94.
some. I have not.
It's a romance anime. Basically, the school president. I mean, the school committee president is this. I think this. The main character Kaicho, but she also like does a maid worked as a maid in a maid cafe in her free time because her home is broke, and uh, and then suddenly this Usui, this really attractive guy, finds out about Kaicho being a maid, and like the Usui tries to tease her about it. So it's really
Mm.
like fun and interesting romance anime. It's very cute. I would say it's definitely
All
worth
right.
watching. And yeah, you
I'll definitely
watched
keep that in mind and check it out.
Mononoke Hime,
Hmm?
right?
Mononoke Hime, which number?
100. Yeah. I mean, you watched Shippuden,
Yes,
right?
Princess Mononoke, of course.
I mean, I also watched this
I
movie a lot of times as a kid,
mm,
and
same.
yeah, and this one didn't age as poorly as Spirited Away, mainly because well, it also has a lot of war themes, probably. So
Mm.
yeah, so it's really cool, and yeah, there's a lot of cool fight scenes too. So yeah, I still really like it. Like even if I didn't
Yeah,
watch it a
it
heck of
is.
time.
It is one of my absolute most favorite Ghibli movies.
Yeah,
It is just so. It's so good.
and it's so
Like
traumatizing
it's
too.
straight up. It's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, like I mean, Spirited Away definitely has those traumatizing moments where the main character gets chased by the ghost, the black ghost. Where, but I
Yeah.
think the finale of like Mononoke Hime, or even before that, there were some like really creepy like monsters here and there. Yeah, like
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Like the
yeah, this
ancient fucking death god.
yeah. This shows like building is something else. This show has a very interesting and unique ideas. For I mean, I guess the strange thing about this show is that people didn't really try to like copy it to death. Maybe they did. I don't know. I just felt like anime didn't try to copy this as much. They probably
No,
should.
I haven't seen any, but I don't think they would be able to pull it off even if they tried. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's a really unique setting they have put in.
Yeah. So, any show you want to comment on? Other shows?
One last one.
Okay.
One last one. Because, yeah, we can comment about Ghibli. I mean, like, Howl's Moving Castle, but nah. Ghibli's Ghibli. They've proven their worth several times. Bungo Stray Dogs, however, number 95. Have you heard of it?
I did, but I didn't watch it. In fact, I know very little about it. I mean, you
It's
can.
a really, really good show, in my opinion. It will never, ever have another season. They have shut down, like, the entire series. It's not coming anything more. But it is honestly so good. It's a fantastic show to just watch, in my opinion.
I see.
And I warmly recommend it to anyone I come across because it's that good.
Okay, about
Like the show is detective hunch, but also a child who was an orphan, but got thrown out of the orphanage because of events, if I say it like that. So like it's just through and through. I warmly recommend this show to anyone
I see.
because it's that good.
So the funny thing about Bungo Street Dogs studios shutting down, I mean, does it really matter that a studio shuts down? Because if you realized there is a new Spice and Wolf project announced. Do you know?
I did not know that.
Do you know Spice and Wolf?
I do. I had no idea about that.
They did announce it. I think it's very likely it's season 3. It's the most hilarious shit I've ever like. I mean, it's not a joke, but when I like look at that freaking trailer, I just want to burst out laughing because it's like it's the enigma of the anime community. Like before Attack on Titan season 2, there was Spice and Wolf season 3, and and it's just like half life free of the anime community. And I'm a huge like Spice and Wolf fan to the point that I uh like watched the anime and then tried to find the manga, but I couldn't. So I watched like found the light novels, read the light novel from volume 1 all the way to volume 9, which is the writing is really good in.
Mm.
And it also doesn't help that I'm not a native English speaker. So, and I was kind of young back then too, probably a teenager of 15 when I read the light novels. So the light novels having a decently easy English to understand was also a good thing. Made it
Yeah.
very enjoyable. I don't know, even in text form, like seeing Holo and Lawrence interact is just so fun.
Yeah, I get what you mean. But like still that they're making new one of it.
Yes, which is amazing.
I'm not sure how to feel about this.
Dude, I
Like,
mean,
it got potential. It got potential for being amazing, but they can they can fuck things up so easily.
who cares?
That's what I'm scared about.
No, I don't care. This is the freaking season 3. Like when I was like finished season 2 and realized there was no sequel. I think I had like the third most biggest blue ball I have ever felt in my life. I don't know. Maybe I felt more blue balls somewhere else. I definitely it comes close to number 1. Like when I found out that there wasn't any continuation, I was like, damn, no. Like I was just so sad that I had to like settle down with reading, which normally doesn't happen. I am okay with reading manga, but light novels are hard to read and like have the same feeling. But I just loved Spice and Wolf to the point I did read the light novels.
That is fair. That is fair. But one anime that I've been feeling the same about, like in that regard, because like they had made an anime called God Eater,
Oh yeah,
and they made it as a promo for the games.
I know.
So we're not making any more anime, more than one season, and I'm fucking pissed off at it. But there are the games. I don't want to play them.
Yeah, it's not good.
It
Right,
sucks.
the adaptation. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I loved the anime, but like the games, they're not for me. And it makes me
Oh,
sad
so it's
because
exactly the
I really
opposite.
liked the anime.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, God Eater was made by Ufotable, so it probably had good action. I mean, the art style looked really weird, so that's the reason why I didn't like continue watch it. I think I watched freaking the first 10 episodes, 10 minutes of the show,
Mm.
and then just kind of I don't feel it, and I kind of dropped it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, not every anime is for everyone. For me, it was really good.
Also, do you consider Avatar: The Last Airbender to be an anime?
Yes, I do.
Oh, yeah, thank God, because this is like one of those discussions I was having like with other people on Discord, and they were like old school viewers, people who like really just can't stand uh, Avatar being considered an anime. Like it has to be a specifically a Japanese thing. I just think that's like really bad. Like that's a bad like mentality to have in a modern society where the world is like converging and becoming more globalized. And the more and more
Yeah.
as time goes on, there are stuff like Castlevania, Ruby, uh, Dead Man Crybaby, where it was funded by Netflix, where it's kind of like hard to say whether it's Japanese or not. Like
Yeah.
especially in like I if you like you looked my YouTube, where I probably will, I did make a video on Ruby, and I really love Ruby, and I try to like defend Ruby from a criticism that one guy was trying to make. And in that video, like I did say, like I really love Ruby. And Ruby, the weird thing about it is that it's so anime. Like if you just watch the Japanese dub of Ruby, it just feels like the most anime an anime can be. It's very
Mm.
hilarious. The experience is very hilarious. Like
Yeah, that's fair.
so, I definitely do think that anime should be an art style and a style thing. But then again, there are weird stuff where do you consider panty and stocking to be anime or not?
Which one?
Panty and stocking, the one where it has an American art style, but made by Japanese people. So, uh, what do you do in that case?
I don't think I've seen it actually.
Huh? Okay. I mean, I did hear good things about it. That's about it. I didn't watch it
Mm.
myself.
Who knows? Maybe it's great. Maybe it's awful. I sure as